Education, its values and relevance finds an important place in the Constitution of India. It provides the conception of the economic and social order for which youth of the country should be educated. Its preamble reflects in the national ethos and the objectives of national policy. It contains the signposts for the nation to go ahead and achieve its aim. The national goal, as envisaged in the preamble of the Constitution, speaks of the vision of the nation, and every citizen owes his allegiance to it. Democracy, socialism, and secularism emerge and guide to the national activities. The preamble has been described as an identity card of the Constitution. It indicates the high moral tone and tenor of the Constitution. In belief, it is a solemn pledge given to the nation. It amended in 1986 the preamble of the Constitution summarizes the aims and objectives of the Constitution as follows. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialistic, secular, democratic republic, and in all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of the status and of the opportunities, and promotes among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of nation. At the beginning, education responsibility was divided between the Government of India and the state. As per the entry 2nd of the list 2nd of the 7th schedule to the Constitution, education was declared as a state subject. Education in the union territories and centrally governed areas became the direct responsibility of the center. The entries 63, 64 and 65 and 66 of list 1 and the entry 25 of the list 3 are known to be centurial functions and joint functions of the central as well as the state governments respectively. The legislative power of the three lists, namely the union list, the state list, and the concurrent list. According to Article 246, Parliament has exclusive powers to make laws in respect of the matter described in the union list. The union list में उनके वो Parliament is empowered to make laws for those. And in the state list, the state assembly is empowered to pass laws concerning the subjects contained in the second list. And the third list, concurrent list, in which both state as well center will decide collectively and will decide collectively and how to use them. In case of conflicts between the laws prepared by the Parliament and the Assembly, the former legislation will supersede. However, despite such a conflict, state law may prevail if it is reserved for the consolidation of the President and the considering of the President and the received his assent. Parliament may at any time Parliament at any time make law replacing or amendments such as state law. Parliament may enact laws or on any matter in the state list of the national importance. Till recently, education was a state subject, but after 42nd Amendment of the Constitution, it was put on the curriculum list. To quote the Swaran Singh Committee, agriculture and education is subject of prime importance in the country's rapid progress towards achieving the desired goals. They should be placed in the concurrence. The need to reserve all India policies in relation to those two subjects, education as well as agriculture, cannot be overemphasized. Item 24 of the concurrent list includes. तो concurrent list में article जो 24 है वो includes education, including technical education, medical education, and universities subject to entries 63, 64, 66 of the list 1. Vocational and the technical training of teachers. List 1 has 9 subjects. Congress है वो 9 union list 1 of union subjects. So the list consists of 97 subjects. Item 3, 63, 64, 65, 66 relate to education. Item 60 relate to the universities administered by the central government. Item 64 relates to the scientific institutions of national importance. Item 65 includes the institution for professional and vocational and technical training, including the police officers. Item 16 relates to the coordination and determination of standards in the institutes for higher education or research and scientific and technical institutions. Item 13 of the union list includes participation in intellectual conference associations and other bodies and implementing decisions made there. In Article 239, education in the union territory comes under the central responsibility. Second list. In the second list, that is a 6 subjects are in the second list. Education including universities subject to provisions of entry 63, 64, 65 and 66 of list 1 and entry 25 in the list 3. Entry 12. Library, museums and other similar institutions controlled or financed by the state. Ancient and historical monuments and records other than those declared or under the state law made by Parliament to be national importance. List 3, list of concurrent subjects. This list contains 47. First list contains, second list contains 66, and the third list contains 47 items. The following are related to education. Education जो relation है वो है 20. Economics and social planning 25. Vocational and technical training of labor. The various constitutional provisions relating to education are as given below.
आप क्या खाओगे?
मेरा नहीं बनाना कुछ भी, मेरा पे आओ.
क्या? वो गूंद सा?
हाँ, वही खाऊंगा. पहला है free and compulsory education. Under Article 45, the Constitution makes the following provisions. The state shall endeavour to provide within a period of 10 years from the commencement of the Constitution for free and compulsory education to all children, irrespective of caste, creed or race, and they complete the age of 31 years. The expression state, which means the article is defined in Article 12 to include the government and the Parliament of India and the government and legislatures of each of the states and all local and other authorities within the territory of India, under the control of the government of India. Then the religious language safeguard. Article 19(1). No citizen be denied admission to any educational institution maintained by the state or receiving any aid from the state on the ground only of religion, race, caste, language, or any one of them. Education of minorities. Article 30 is related to the rights of minorities to establish and administer education institutions. It reads, all minorities, whether based on religion or language, shall have the right to establish and administer their own institutions of their choice. The state shall not, in granting any aid to education institution, discriminates against any education institution on the ground that is under the management of a minority, whether based on religion or based on language. Education of weaker sections and the scheduled caste. Article 46 speaks as follows. The state shall provide with special care the educational and economic interests of the weaker section and the people of the particular scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, and shall protect them from social injustice and all the forms of exploitation. It is aimed to directive principle of the state policy. Article 337 is related to the special provision respect to the education grants for the benefit of the Anglo-Indian community. ये आर्टिकल 37 था, ये तब का है, अंग्रेजों के पहले का है. आर्टिकल वही इनकॉर्पोरेट कर लिया हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में. आर्टिकल 350A is related to the facilities for instruction and mother tongue. At primary stage, it reads, it shall be endeavor of every state and every local authority within the state to provide adequate facilities for instruction in the mother tongue at the primary level stage of the education to children belonging to linguistic minority group, and the President may issue such direction to any state as he considers necessary or the proper for the securing the provision of the such facilities. Article 351 relates to the Directive for Development of Hindi Language. Then Article 239 relates to education in the Union Territories, that will be under the central government. Parliament has the executive to enact legislation in respect of institutions and union agencies mentioned in entries 62, 63, 64, 65 and 66 of the list 1. Entry 13 of the union list relates to the participation in international conferences, associations and other bodies and implementing the decision made thereof. So these are the value, or these are the principles enshrined in the Constitution of India for education as I said, the education is on both lists. It is on the concurrent list, it is on the state list. Most of the school education is on the state list, and higher education is on the concurrent list. So in this way, there are so many provisions. Article 337, Article 350, Article 351, Article 239 and entry 30 in the union list. So all these are the provisions to safeguard the education of the children, starting with the free primary education, then education up to the age of 31. That means free primary education, then secondary education, then senior secondary education, then tertiary education, and the university education. So all these provisions are there. So especially entry 62, 63, 64, 65 and 66 and the list 1 are very important, and they gave power even to the parliament to enact certain rules, enact certain laws for the education, though they may be in the state list, but they can interfere and they can supersede the state legislature by the parliament legislature. That's all.